At Wyndham Park Primary School, the principal and leadership team support high-quality professional learning opportunities for colleagues. One strategy involves expert mentoring to improve student learning in literacy. Classroom teachers are given the opportunity to observe the mentor working in a classroom environment.
So my name's Dale Gordon. I'm a literacy consultant, and today I was working with a grade 1 too. Our learning intention was to think about the difference between fiction and factual texts, and to work out what made a fictional text, what made a factual text, and to sort books according to whether they were fiction or fact. I wanted the children to look at their own texts and the texts that they've been reading out of their own reading boxes, and so I set a task for the class to go back to their tables and with a partner look at the books that they had in their reading boxes and sort those books into what they thought would be fiction and what they thought would be fact. And really they did a great job of that. The guided group, the gorillas, were looking at a stack of books, all of them about dinosaurs, some fiction, some fact. And they spent the first couple of minutes sorting those into what was fiction and what was fact, and then we looked at how they had sorted them. One book called Rex and Me, they'd put in the fiction, and it was actually a factual text. So I pulled that one out and we went through it really slowly to try and change their notion of it being fictional.
It doesn't have a content.
It doesn't have a contents, no. It took some doing because this text didn't have the features they really associate with factual texts. It was very simple text, and it was basically the whole information was in the pictures, and they really had to think very hard about, yes, this is a factual text. But they made it in the end, which was a good thing to see. Why is it important to know whether the book you pick up is fact or fiction? I think it's important that children understand that when they pick up a book, that they make a decision about whether it's fact or fiction, because their head needs to be in the space, one space for fact and reading facts and one space for reading fiction, to know that when they're reading a factual text, they're going to be learning something, they're going to be adding to their knowledge, and they need to put their head in that space. Okay, I'm going to be thinking very hard all the way through this book, or all the way through the part that I'm reading, because I know that I'm learning something and adding to what I know. When I'm reading fiction, I can possibly be a bit more relaxed and look at the story overall rather than piece by piece.
What are the benefits of learning from an expert mentor? How does expert mentoring lead to improvements in student learning? What aspects of your teaching would benefit from expert mentoring?